Morning, Quasar, and everyone who's interested in markets or money.
Everyone who likes money, welcome.
Welcome back to the show. It's Jeremy and Dave DC Conley, and we're looking at the markets and chatting money and portfolios and politics. I hope everyone's doing awesome. Here's something that hasn't happened before on any Monday ever.
The first Monday in time. Okay, tell me.
The U.S.-Iran ceasefire effectively collapsed over the weekend.
Oh my God! I have never heard of what? Where? Who is this U.S.? Who is this Iran? Who is this Monday? Who is this ceasefire? I have never heard of such a thing.
Brand new.
One
of a kind.
Yeah.
Well, so that we're throwing telephone poles at each other again.
God, it's terrible.
Crude is spiking, so the WTI is back above 74. Which
that.
Again, from a trading opportunity, let me just pop over really quick. There are a small amount of signs for some weakness today in general. If I pull this up really quick, this is the broader market QQQ. So this is the tech market, and the tech market, we are having a gap down today. So there is a 100% chance, in my opinion, that this open air gap fills probably sometime today, meaning that the Qs goes down to 712. So you'll notice that we had a buying candle on Friday, 3 in a row actually, and we're gapping down. That's what this pre-market line looks like. So we'll have a little bit of selling today. Nothing too crazy, but we can easily make it back down to 705 this week, which is a 50 exponential moving average on the tech market. And if we close below that, that will be the first time, and it will seem like to me that we will go lower. Here's the SPY. Now, when I say go lower, I don't mean like a cataclysmic lower, just mean a little bit lower. Like, for example, the SPY doing this makes perfect sense to me, right? We have a lower move, and then everyone buys it again, and we're kind of back to the races. This is the XLE, which is the energy ETF. And again, as I mentioned, since crude is up a little bit, some energy stocks, oil stocks, should be just a smidge higher. So here's ExxonMobil pulling down to a pretty nice little area to bounce. This is the 200 simple moving average, this big red line. So this actually is, from a technical chart, a pretty good place to actually bounce, and that's what we're doing. And this is the weekly look on the XLE in general. So last but not least, or at least for a second, SpaceX. So SpaceX is gapping down this morning pre-market. I'm pretty short aggressively on SpaceX, mostly because it's way overvalued, number one. Number two, every tech IPO does this, where it has this quick rally and then close below the IPO low, trapping all the retail buyers, and then start slowly dropping. So if my goal is to see SpaceX at 135 or lower sometime in the next 2 weeks. So don't buy it yet. If you're looking to buy it, it should go down a little bit more, because it's not worth the same amount of that Amazon is worth presently. I just don't quite see that. So
what is a good price for it? Like it seems like if you need to launch something in space, it's the place, right? Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, I'm rhyming this morning. Yeah,
sorry.
It seems like it's the place to go if you need to launch something in space. Like, they've got it going on. They're catching rockets. Like, it's very impressive, right? So what is their price where people are going to be like, okay, that makes sense? And is there, is that like really clear to folks, or is it like, it's just too hot right now?
Great question. I can say per share, if it can get under $1 trillion, that'd be ideal, which puts it at around 70. So 50% off where it is now would start making a lot more sense. That's where I can be like, okay, I get it, because it was at its peak almost 3 trillion, right? Like $2.5 trillion, 2.6, 2.7, when it was at $220 a share. So I think it sees 100 by the end of the year is very realistic. I actually probably would pick some up if it got to 100 just to say I did it, but $70 per share on SpaceX makes a lot more sense to me.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir. Yeah, great question.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Fed Chair Kevin Wash first Hill testimony collides with the CPI and bake earnings. So that's happening on the same day. So markets are pricing in roughly a 60 to 64% chance of a September hike. I mean, September's right around the corner, man. So, it hasn't happened yet.
Right.
They've been holding strong. But yeah, it is already mid-July.
Only 20, what is it? Only 26 more weeks to Christmas.
Yeah, that's right. Around the
Start
corner.
start the calendar now. Start the advent calendar now. Month 26
Yeah,
or
it's
week
wild.
26. Yeah, we talked about it with Steve last week. He was buying a $25 candy bar, which is just, you know what? I went to the grocery store. Like, everybody's seeing this. I cannot walk out of the grocery store as a single man at a grocery store with one bag of groceries for under $100. And it wasn't, like, I wasn't buying caviar and smoked salmon, and it was just like run of the mill, run to the store, and I'm like, holy smokes. So everyone's feeling it, and certainly people who are on the margins, people who are, the most of Americans, as we are currently working through and starting and kicking off our series on housing in America. I have a lot of the political angle of what's going on with the working poor of America. And that's what I've been reading up on and looking at as far as like, what does housing mean for them? And, we have both the richest poor people on the planet, and we also have the most poor people of any industrialized nation on the planet. And we're the richest country, right? So the folks that are feeling this the most are the folks that are that one paycheck around, away from massive insecurity. These are the folks that, don't have mobility in their jobs, don't have a lot of freedom. Most of Americans are in this place where it's like, okay, like, a big change to my finances without my pay going up is a problem. And so this inflation is just cranking through, and Americans have increasingly had fewer places where they can actually pull from. So we're seeing that dissatisfaction going through the system, and people are getting grumpy about it. That's what's going on politically on that.
Yeah, what's crazy? I don't know if raising interest rates are actually going to let the stock market go down very much. I think it's I think we're getting into a very interesting spot right now. Like, not only in the markets, just in the economy.
Yeah.
Like, we raise interest rates, we lower them. What's 0.5% going to do?
Some of this research that I've been going through, these podcasts and things that I've been listening to, it put it in a different perspective as to what because this raising and lowering of interest rates by the Fed seems so like I'm touching it with oven mitts. Like, yeah, okay, whatever, right? I get it, how economists talk about it. And here's another way of thinking about it. Another way of thinking about it is that when the Fed raises interest rates, it is making it so that, because you and I and everybody else who tries to, who does anything on credit ever, like if you're building a business, if you're putting something on a credit card, if you're trying to do anything on credit, you are competing against the federal government as the first buyer. They're the ones going out there and saying, hey, in order to buy my debt, the reason that the interest rates are so damn high is that we need more people around the world to buy this debt, and we have to charge this huge amount of money in order to do it. So you and I are competing against the government, and the government spends, and in order to get more people around it, in order to finance all this debt, it has to raise the interest rates on things. So it's like it goes into everything we do, and I'm not going to pretend that these interest rates don't matter, to the markets and things. It matters to like everybody, like I get it that we want lower interest rates for like the humans, like the yous and the me's and the people who want to or living day in and day out. Yeah. But we're competing against the government, and the government is just spend.
Yeah, this is very true.
Stop spending all of our money.
Please, that'd be great. That'd be great. Well, earnings season will be next week. That's where things start kicking off. Yep.
What are you looking forward to?
Well, I love always having Tesla earnings are always a fun day. So that should be the night of July 22nd. But yeah, July 22nd, right around the corner. So the month of July, we should see some fun, wild overnight moves on a lot of things. So towards the end of July, early August, we have plentiful amounts of news and random fundamentals that'll come out that will show, how much companies are making. Speaking of, Meta just released all kinds of powerful things.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Look at this crazy move that Meta had. So Meta, again, a lot of data center stuff. Yeah, a lot of data center things. But since Thursday morning, right, it was a very interesting move. So Thursday morning it was down 2-3%. And then Friday it was up 15% from Thursday's open. So it's been a strong mover. But yeah, at this point, I mean, should retest a little bit, pull back down to 630, and then should go higher. Meta's, they've been pretty cheap for a pretty long time. If you look at it, I mean, they were this exact price, more or less, it's February of 2025. So over a year ago. So we've been consolidating for quite some time on Meta. And it seems to me like that's probably going to start catching up with the stock price, and we should start going higher at some point. NVIDIA down just a smidge post-market, nothing too crazy, I don't think. But in general, that trend still looks pretty strong, and it looks like NVIDIA should also kind of continue to go higher. Obviously, you still have the AI play, the data center plays, all the plays. Anything with memory, right? Memory and memory chips and microchips and microprocessing chips and no potato chips. But anything
for yourself.
I do love a good potato chip, man.
So good.
I can eat a whole bag. But yeah, so as of right now, I mean, nothing too insane today. There will be some fun movements. And when earnings comes out, that's when things will really start picking up. Again, just from like maybe day trading or opportunistic perspectives. But in reality, there's a lot of stocks that are brewing and building and waiting for, sure, maybe it's the Fed decision or some other decisions, but things
what's brewing? What is brewing? What do you think is bubbling?
Some move in some big direction, up or down.
So nothing in particular today, this week is just rolling unless something big happens.
Yep. That's it. So yeah, pretty quiet out there. And I believe you and myself and Steve will probably at some point be able to hop back on and give each other high fives and hugs, probably I think Thursday for Quasar. And we'll see you guys back, and we'll see what's happening, what's moving, and probably short Micron again, because that's kind of been the thesis. If we're given the opportunity to, because they turned it off. They turned off the spigot.
That feels very not capitalistic. It seems very anti-capital to be like, oh no, you can't play in your sandbox. No. Come on.
Crazy. Yeah, it is very it's very anti-American to just turn off the spigot. We're not allowing.
People are making too much money.
It's pretty wild.
Politically, it's the summer sideways. It's really that. Lindsey Graham passed over the weekend. I personally believe, and plenty of people do, that the world is a little bit of a safer place now that he's off of it. We'll see what happens in South Carolina and what they do there. That's just it plays into what's going on in the midterms. Outside of that, it's certainly, everything is Iran all the time. Europe, it continues to be a bit of a dumpster fire. It can't go without saying that while it feels like in the United States, inflation is the big thing with most people, and politically it seems weirdly quiet, and that we're spending all of our time talking about the Middle East. Those are certainly two very chaotic areas that do affect us in all sorts of ways. Our inflation is happening because of that, because of tariffs. These were all choices. So These were all political choices to go into the Middle East, choices to do tariffs. All of these things were inflationary. And now the Fed is looking at having to raise interest rates in order to tamp down inflation. Those are the pieces that are put together, and that's how it affects us day in and day out. So that's what's going on in the politics world.
Midterms are also not that far away, man. Time is passing for us all.
26 weeks to Christmas.
Well, we'll be here. We will be here at Christmas. Between now and then, Dave and I will be talking about housing affordability. That's the next discussion for solving America's problems. Just having the conversation of like what that looks like, how long, when, where, why, what kind of shifts are coming down the pike. It's going to be extremely fascinating. So fans, followers, thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you all soon.